Hey guys, Dirty Mike D here with Fat Guy Gaming, and we're gonna go over the tier 4, 5, and 6 Italian destroyers that they just dropped real quick. Nothing super in depth. I just want to give you a little overview of what the differences between these ships are and what you can kind of expect, and then I'll have a few clips just kind of showing them going through the ropes and doing different things. So far, not super impressed with them. They have their things they do decent. You catch another DD with sap, you can really chunk them for big stuff. They're not great fire starters. They don't have great reload. They don't have a lot of hit points. Their concealment's not very good. They're kind of one of those jack of all trades, master of none things, but they can be good if you're really sweaty and have the patience. So I'm gonna just go over a few of them and we'll see what's up. All right, so I'm using Luigi Rizzo. I don't know how you say it, but that's who I'm using. And I'm pretty much ignoring concealment for the most part on these things. Even if you put Bay, Swirsky, and go with Look at Me Now, you're not going to get much better than maybe 5.6, 5.7. Mostly everything's going to still outspot you. If that's the way you want to go, that's fine. I went full reload on this thing just to try to put out damage. I put Perceptive on there because I want to be able to see the torpedoes coming in and save a little bit of damage. I haven't had a problem with the traverse speed being a thing, so I get the same effect Twist and Track has. I go with Mortar here because 13% is a lot of damage. It makes my detectability a little bit worse, but honestly, I don't think I care. I'm sort of running this thing almost like a Cobb. Observant range, give me a little bit more reload time. Smoke on the water, I don't know how much it's helping, but with 4% with a 25-second dispersion time and stuff, so whatever. I think it's still better than Cloudy Days. Unstoppable is almost guaranteed needed. And then his base trait is engine boost cooldown and duration. Like I said, it's 25 seconds. So plus or minus 6%, what's that going to do? Is it 24 seconds, 26 seconds, whatever. I'm just maximizing my reload time on these ships. It's between 4.9, I think, and 5.1 with the way I have it done. He's only Legend 2s, so, but that's not going to make that big a deal. Even if he was 16.4, I don't think it's going to make that big a deal. Some people have maybe suggested maybe I take Ding off and put Sims on there because these ships are so low in HP. That's probably something I'm going to try, but for now, what I was doing with it, this has been good. Mortar just adds so much damage. 13% seems like a lot for all your stuff, and it's the only way you're going to be able to really participate, I think. But anyway, that's who I'm running on all these ships, so my stats are going to reflect that. I'm not going to go too into the stats, more just like the mechanics of these ships. So anyway, there's Luigi. Hey guys, Dirty Mike D here. So we're going to go over this a little quickly, so as not to make this video prohibitively long. These are the Italian destroyers. I'm just going to go over some quick things with them. Number one, this is the 4, the Mistral. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Probably not. It's a two turret DD, 6.5 concealment with the commander setup I showed you earlier with Rizzo. Torpedoes are Wet Noodles. They hit for 8,600 max damage, and of course that gets reduced by torpedo bulges. Rear turret is not a 360-degree turret. You got about a minute reload, give or take, on these torpedoes. 56 knots, 8K range. So that's what you got with this. It's kind of bland. It doesn't really have too much like crazy. It's got the sap, and that does do very well against its tier. So that's what you got going on there. The tier 5 is the Avier. The feature that changes here is you get a middle turret that only has one gun extra, and it doesn't have the best firing angles. The rear turret is still not 360. The damage to the torpedoes on this, let's go take a look here. Specs, torpedoes, is still 8,600. I think it does go to 10,000 once you get the last upgrade, the torpedo upgrade, and the range goes back out to 10, I believe. Unfortunately, the addition of that third turret sends this thing's concealment up to 7 kilometers with what I've got going on. So that's one of the problems with it. But once again, the sap does do pretty well. Just make sure when you're shooting that sap, if he's angled, you're switching to HE whenever you start seeing shatters and ricochets. But cool thing is it never overpens. I'll show you later how that sap does versus superstructure and to watch for saturation. But that's the Avier. Like I said, it adds that middle turret and gives you a little bit better. It's kind of better for moving away, kiting away, and firing. You can do some work that way. Next is the Tarigo, the Tier 6. I did enjoy this one more than the 5. It adds an extra barrel on the middle turret. You get the 10k torps still, 10k damage, 10k distance. Still has sap. Your concealment gets a little bit better here at 6.8, so it drops by 0.2 from the 5. And yeah, still basically the same. Low hit points, about the same reload on the torpedoes, so it's just kind of what it is. And then last you got the Tier 7 right now is the Cuniberti. The difference here is that middle turret moves to the front of the ship. So now 2/3 of your firepower, gun firepower, is on the front of your ship, and that makes a big difference, especially whenever you're bow tanking other cruisers. Or not cruisers, I'm sorry, destroyers. Same torpedoes. Rear turret, though, now becomes a 360-degree turret. So that helps a lot when knife fighting and doing things like that. Your concealment does go from the Tier 6, which was 6.8, up to 6.9. That 0.1 doesn't really change much on it. The sap is really good. You can really chunk some things. You just have to watch their angle to you, because otherwise you're just going to be bouncing off their front. So those are them. So now we'll get to a different video. So I'm here in AI just to show you something that's pretty cool. That is cool about these Italian. Aim for these superstructures. 5,000 a pop, baby. That's 6 pens for 5,000. There's 4,000. Unfortunately, if you look, his superstructure is already blackened pretty good. So you're about to hopefully we'll be able to see these numbers really drop down fast. So you only get a few of those sort of salvos into superstructures before damage saturation really makes the sap be kind of wishy-washy.
The ship is on fire.
So I'm gonna keep showing you here how.
Main turret, critical
I mean, these
damage.
are all regular pens.
Solved, sir.
No shatters. There's one shatter. Mostly all regular pens. So do with that what you will.
Enemy battleship sighted. Critical engine damage.
Not a big fan of this one because it's only got the. Look at that alpha damage.
Torpedoes dead ahead.
See how we do against Fushin here. I aim a little farther forward, get at the meat of this thing. Look at that, 3,800 hit. Got him! We're doing everything. We're trying.
Critical engine damage.
Enemy just.
Critical engine damage. The ship is on fire.
Really.
Taking the lead.
I got him. Oh, he's dead.
Enemy severely damaged.
Enemy destroyer foundered. Off to a great start.
Smoke generator started. Critical engine damage. Problem solved, sir. Smoke screen set. Engine boost deactivated.
Enemy battleship destroyed.
Our team has taken the lead. Critical engine damage. Problem solved, sir. Critical engine damage. Problem solved, sir.
Enemy cruiser foundered.
All stations requesting fire on the designated target.
Enemy destroyer blown up.
Requesting support.
Enemy destroyer sighted.
Engine boost deactivated. Critical engine damage. Problem solved, sir. Critical engine damage.
So, a quick summary on these things. So, as you saw from that little 5-minute clip of me doing stuff, the torpedoes just, unless you land all 6, they're not going to do a lot against battleships, especially with their big torpedo reduction. They can do stuff against cruisers. You might be able to catch some cruisers. Mostly these things are area denial, because if you're that close to a cruiser or a battleship, you're in trouble because you don't have the concealment to get away very well unless you planned your speed boost and your smoke well to get away. You catch the opposing destroyers kind of off balance or without support, you'll piece them up. I wouldn't suggest going 1v1 versus a Akazuki or a Friesland. They're going to eat you up. Fletchers might eat you up depending on if they're a good player. You're going to mess up torpedo boats pretty well. You'll piece them out pretty well. So just you're going to have to really pick and choose your battles. This thing is, I mean, yeah, you might be able to get some better concealment out of it and do a little different than what I'm doing. Good luck with that. Mortar is pretty important. It's 13% more damage. I think that's important, but that's going to cost you that 6 to 8% or 6% concealment. Make sure you're using sap with the when they're broadside, and if they're smart and bow into you, make sure you're switching to HE. Otherwise, you're just going to not do that well with the sap. The sap is definitely great until you're going to have to pay attention to your damage numbers. Make sure you switch up to HE whenever everything's oversaturated and your damage numbers drop in half, or even whatever they drop to. Don't hit armor belts with the sap. It's just going to shatter. Superstructure's your friend. If you end up in a knife fight with a cruiser, hit his superstructure. Don't hit his belt. If he angles to you, once again, change to HE. You're going to have a tough time with that sap, just getting ricocheted and bouncing things and shattering. Cool thing about it is, though, it doesn't overpen, so smash into that superstructure and get your damage and try to get out of there. Sometimes you might be able to almost YOLO Emilio with this thing, but you don't have that 26,000 damage torpedoes. You got 8,600 to 10,000 damage torpedoes before it's modified by torpedo reduction. So be smart with these things. Hopefully they get a buff of some sort. Maybe Sims instead of a reload. If you want the extra HP, it might give you an extra 2,000 or so, depending on what tier it is. So here we go. Hopefully you enjoy them. I'm going to keep grinding them. I like difficult ships. I'm going to try to get good with them, even though it's going to be a pain in the butt. Thanks for watching, and keep on sinking those ships, guys. Peace out.